Okay, guys. This is part 2 of my testimony, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna do a prayer again because I tried recording it before this without a prayer, and I don't know where to start. I do know where to start, and it didn't flow naturally to me. So I'm like, I want it to be exactly how, I don't know. It didn't flow right. So this is Life of Vanessa the Cross, part 2. Lord, I pray for healing for my body, mind, and spirit. Protect me from harm and evil and guide me towards your path. Forgive me for all of my sins and help me to live a life that honors you. I pray for the needs of my family, friends, and those in need around the world. Fill my heart with hope and remind me of your promises. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, guys. Whew. I last stopped about how I started getting sick around people. And let me just backtrack on when I was 1 year old and my dad would get custody of me, and I don't really know why he would get custody of me, but he did. And my mom was telling me, this is like from my mom's point of view, like for a little bit. I don't know how accurate it is because I heard this back in the day. And so I was like almost 1, but I was placed in foster care. And the only reason why I was placed in foster care is because one of my parents, and I believe it was my dad, and the only reason why I say I believe it's my dad is because I had visions of my dad doing this, or like I was in the area of him. I don't know why, but I get visions. So I just remember my mom telling me like, yeah, you were placed in foster care and you were getting seen for chemo, like not chemo, but like treatments for like leukemia, kids with cancer. So when I went to my appointment, they noticed that my arm was swollen and red, and my mom's like she didn't know. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. And she was just like, yeah, your dad basically called CPS on me and said I broke your arm because, the doctor found out, her arm's broken. What happened? That's like child neglect. That's child endangerment. Like, what is going on? So I was placed in foster care. And the only reason why I know I was placed in foster care and I had questions growing up was because I had visions of me being somewhere I don't remember. Like, I remember watching, even my sister, she was a little bit older than me. It was the middle child that was placed in foster care with me, and then the oldest got sent with my grandparents. Luckily for her, she got sent to the right hands, and I got placed in foster care. And I just remember always watching Hercules, and that's all I remember. Hercules, a recliner, and me in a pack and play. And my sister, too, remembers that. So, how could I remember that at 1 year old? How? That's 1 year old. And then I was still getting sent with my dad, and when my dad would take custody of me, I guess for the weekends, I just remember being in a bar's parking lot, and the window would be cracked and I would just be sweating-ish. I don't know if I was 3, 4, 5, I don't remember, but I just know I was at a bar because he wasn't there, and I just hear people walking back and forth, and I'm just like, where's my dad? We're in a car with no AC on. I know there wasn't no AC on. I know he didn't leave the car running. I know that for a fact. And then 2, my dad would leave us with complete strangers. Strangers. My dad would leave us with complete strangers. I would wake up whose house am I at? And I would voice that to my mom, and my mom's just And then it got to the point where I was around 7 years old, and my dad picked us up, and we went to one of his friends' get-togethers. I don't know, my memory is very vague because I just remember being there. And this is all true because everybody remembers this. And it's not funny, but it's ain't nobody can deny this, basically. So he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend had 2 girls. And my dad, when he would take us, will spend the time at his girlfriend's house. And I'm not gonna lie, I remember I threw up on a blanket. And y'all know how I told y'all when I was around bad people I would throw up? Why am I throwing up? Why am I throwing up? And it's all making sense right now because I remember I threw up on my Playboy bunny blanket. And it was a time where he would abuse my middle child, my middle sibling. I don't have a middle child, but my middle child, the middle sibling, he would she would back talk, and he would just hold her hands up and start beating her. I remember this. And then we went out one time. I don't know if it was the next day, but that was the same. I'm gonna be honest. I remember me throwing up and him hitting her being in the same day. So I don't know. My body was just physically ill from the person I was with. I'll be honest with y'all. And I remember them having to go wash it. And yeah, I'm telling y'all, anytime I'm around bad people, I get physically ill. Like, there's no, it makes sense now. Like, I'm telling y'all. And, oh, wow, that's so crazy to me. Like, it's just so crazy. I feel so like, wow, I've been guided by God this whole time. I've been protected by God this whole time. And God's been giving me that gift of discernment. And it's amazing. It's really amazing to know that God's been watching and been there since I was a little girl. So, hear me out. So, my dad, the reason why we stopped seeing my dad, and he would come visit. And, like, when he would come visit, he just smelled like beer. And you could tell he was just off something. Like, my dad was off something always, it felt like. And the aggression, the anger, the outbursts, it just all makes sense. And tell me why, like, we go out and his girlfriend's wearing a shirt. And he knows exactly what she walked out in. But she was grabbing stuff from the cooler. And I guess men were looking at her. And he got super angry. And I just remember being told, let's go, we gotta go. And on the way home, he's just, I told you not to wear that around people, and she's just wearing like a regular shirt. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably just like a regular shirt, and she just bent over and she had a big breast. Like, I don't know how to say that, like, without being weird, but she had big breast, and like, it's not her fault that, you know, her breasts come out. Like not all the way out, but I mean, they're showing their cleavage. Like, that happens when you wear, like, and when you have big chest. Like, you can't prevent that, but she's getting hit, slapped in the face for that. And her 2 daughters were next to me, and I just remember the earring flying back, and like him hitting her, and the earring just flies back, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I just remember how traumatic it was, because he didn't stop at all. We go to her apartment, and her mom had an apartment too, but it was like a few doors down. And I just remember him, like, I just remember her saying, go to my mom's apartment, just run. And we're running, girl. We're running. And there's no, I'm sorry calling out girl, but we were running. We ran to that. Like, we just left. And I just remember him just banging on the door. And we stayed the whole, like, day at her mom's, and even the next day. And I just remember, like, he calmed down, I guess, and he takes us home. And I remember him, like, on the way home. I remember that day. And I remember just staring outside the sky, and he's just like, don't tell your mom this. And the whole time, I'm like, I'm telling my mom. I said, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be around you no more. Like, I didn't want to be around my dad no more. And I'm glad I said something, because we started spending more time with my grandparents. And I love my grandpa. He was literally the anchor of our family. He was. He had the gift of discernment really well. My dad could tell when my cousin was pregnant. He could tell when someone was lying and deceiving him. You know why? He was saved by God. Yes, my dad had episodes too. My grandpa, my bad. Yes, my grandpa had his trials and tribulations. Everybody's going to have that in order to reach that rock bottom and how to be saved by God. Like, everybody's going to reach that. I'm sorry. Like, you're going to go through that phase of life. Like, I promise you. Like, it's inevitable. Like, you're going to have to go through that. And you knew my dad was at peace. You knew my grandpa. When I say dad, please, like, when I talk good about someone, it's not my real dad. It's not my biological dad. It's my grandpa. My grandpa in heaven. My grandpa in heaven. And I'm gonna do 10-minute increments so it could upload faster. So I have 1 minute of that. But yeah, my grandpa in heaven. And ever since we told him about all that, he was like, you're not going back to your dad ever. And I'm like, say less, because you're my dad. My grandpa was my dad, I promise y'all. I love my dad. I just love my grandpa. And when I tell y'all everything that happened with that, y'all gonna be like, yeah, I know why you loved your grandpa. And like, other family members, they don't have that connection with my grandpa, because y'all don't realize it, because my grandpa really, really showed me the love that I never received as a little girl. The love I should have received. The love that should have been from my parents, I received from my grandpa. And my grandpa could see it. I know he did. Because the way he would hug me, the way he would talk about me, the way he just praised me, the way he was so proud of me, that's who kept me going. My grandpa kept me going. And I honor that so much. I don't care what anybody has to say about my grandpa, but my grandpa was my biggest supporter. Whether he said it or not, I felt his love deeply. I'm gonna end it at that, and I'm gonna continue.